Hey everybody, welcome to the Mark Parham podcast. I talk about news, I talk about sports, I talk about, just different things. And one of the things that I want to talk about is there's somebody, he's a sports personality, a talking head. What's his name? Emmanuel, Acho or Ocho or whatever his name is. And this whole controversy with him and a woman named Joy Taylor. The thing about this whole situation is that, men like that come on TV, and same thing with Joy Taylor, but I'm going to talk about, the man in this situation. But men like Emmanuel come on TV and act holier than thou. They're always up there telling black men what they should do. They're telling athletes what they should do. They're always, adding their 2 cents when it comes to, different things in society. And I remember he was running a sort of like a YouTube show or whatever you want to call it, where he was talking about, I think, uncomfortable conversations or some mess, where he was trying to bring in, people from different sides that disagree with each other on politics and just, I think, dating and just a lot of different things. But it just goes to show you that, these people come up on TV and act like they're, above everybody. They're up there talking about the athletes. They're up there talking about, what's going on behind the scenes with LeBron James and, sports and football and all this stuff when, you can't throw stones when you live in a glass house. And I've seen videos online. Now people are connecting the dots where he's up there, sniffing his fingers and talking about God and just a bunch of crazy stuff. Like when you look back on some of his videos, some of his old videos of him and Joy Taylor, it's like, wait a minute, everything is starting to make sense. And, I think with this whole situation, people were saying that Skip Bayless, allegedly, that he might be involved. I don't know, like I said, allegedly, but, this just goes to show you that you can't believe any of these folks that come on television. I know some of you already don't believe, a lot of these people, but they're the ones that come up on TV and will tell you, oh, well, this athlete shouldn't be staying at a bar because, bars are trouble and this athlete shouldn't be conducting himself that way. And they were all up in arms with the Black Lives Matter protest and all this other stuff. But, look at how they're living behind the scenes, and look at how, they can come up on TV with a serious face and tell you and tell black people and athletes what they should be doing. But they're not, following their own advice. And so, again, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting to see, what some of the people on ESPN have to say, because let's be honest, ESPN probably has a lot of different controversies and scandals going on behind the scenes also. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, something doesn't come out again on, what's going on behind the scenes with ESPN. But it just, seeing somebody like Emmanuel, he always would act like he's above everybody, and he'd come up on TV with his glasses and be talking about, politics. And, he always made himself, it seemed like he was the smartest person in the room. And so it's going to be interesting to see if some people at Fox Sports resign or if they keep their job. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do in the future. But, it's amazing how you look at some of the old videos. And I mean, again, I'm not trying to put anything out there, but I mean, I looked at an old video on, I think it was TikTok or something, where he's sniffing his fingers and looking all crazy into the camera. And there's videos of Joy Taylor and Emmanuel dancing around in the studio. It's just like when you put everything together, it's just like, oh, everything, some of this stuff makes sense. And even with Joy Taylor, I'll get into her, but Joy Taylor was another one that would come up online talking about men and what type of man she wants and how pretty she is and just all this stuff. And she was another person that came up on there, and she would always be, talking about men and what men should do and how men should conduct themselves and how athletes should, move in society. And look at how she's acting. I mean, the guy that they showed, allegedly, the person that was at the company she works at, I mean, people are looking at the photo like, well, wait, you were that desperate to get a position? I mean, again, this is allegedly. But I mean, you look at, who she was messing around with, or the guy they, connected to this whole situation. You say, wait a minute, Joy Taylor always said this about athletes and how they should conduct themselves and treat women. And look at what she's doing. And I mean, the guy that they showed a picture of online, I think it was on Twitter, look like somebody where you say, wait a minute, Joy Taylor was that desperate for power? So, it's a crazy situation. And it just amazes me that these people always go on TV and they're saying, oh, well, LeBron James should do this, or this athlete shouldn't have got arrested by the police because if he conducted himself this way. And they're always talking about Black Lives Matter in society, and they're no better than you and I. And I want people to, see this or listen to this and say to themselves, like, I need to stop listening to all of these folks on television, all these celebrities, because they're hypocrites. I mean, some of these sports shows, some of these sports talk shows, I don't even watch anymore. I mean, back in the day, they in the beginning, they were, you had people that were new sports and that, were speaking common sense. But now, I mean, you have a bunch of hypocrites on television, and they're always quick to point out somebody else's flaw. But I mean, you look at how they're living. I mean, they're just like living the complete opposite of all the things they preach. And so I think that this scandal is going to get even bigger, and it's going to, keep on growing because, who's to say that it's not more people on these networks that have wives and who are married that are doing the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised if, more stuff comes out. But it's just like, I think at a time where, sports are going through, there's, some of the ratings are down in the NBA and things are happening. I think that, people deserve some transparency. People after the day want to hear authentic voices talk about sports. And believe it or not, some people are actually looking at more independent sports shows and things like that and podcasts online. Like some of the podcasts that are talking about sports are actually better than turning on ESPN or Fox Sports, because, I mean, they some of the people on there are just complete phonies. I mean, and I know that this story was trending on Twitter, and I'm happy that people are seeing, what's going on behind the scenes, and they're realizing, wait a minute, let me stop believing everything these people have to say. And so, again, in the comment section, let me know how you feel. I know I was rambling, but this situation with Emmanuel, Acho or whatever his name is, and Joy Taylor, I think it's only going to get bigger. And again, this is really going to expose a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to these major sports shows in America. Thank you.